what happened here. I guess no one knows what happened because of what he just said, obviously.
Tick tock.
It's cool that we're actually seeing like the device. But yeah, like as I was saying, like Noah being, the time travel that he is, and as the dialogue there just mentions, like obviously he knows who Helge is, he knows who he is, his significance in the future and such, and he knows that whatever actions that he does then, right, isn't gonna affect anything. In fact, it's probably gonna propel Helge into whoever Helge that we do know in the present. It's just interesting to finally see like how their dynamic began. Is this... what was her name again? Doris? Agnes? The wedding ring. I love the yellow dress.
Meinst du, sie hat was gemerkt?
Oh, she noticed 100%.
Jede Familie hat ihre Geheimnisse.
Ah. Every family has its secrets. Interesting. So I had my suspicions in regards to like these two characters. Like when they were first introduced and they were, Okay. Okay. the sound effects. Those banging sounds, man.
Man hat ihn gefunden.
Wen gefunden?
Helge.
Den Dopplerjungen.
Yeah.
Ist einfach durch die Tür
Shocker.
spaziert, als wäre nichts passiert.
Oh.
Meine Mutter hat einen Bruder. Aber ich glaube, sie hassen sich.
I don't remember who the boy is. I'm trying to think of who he is supposed to be.
Zeigst du es mir jetzt?
I mean, that's Claudia. Heterochromia eyes. Oh. Great cut.
Danke.
I never really ask about this, but we never really know who the father is, do we? Do we? Because I don't remember. It was always Claudia, the mother, and Regina, the daughter, but never the father. Well, would you look at this? Satanis. Love the cuts. As always. Kind of crazy that he is listening to those types of music. After everything that we know about him. Oh man. I missed this show.
Wer ist Noah?
Du darfst ihm nicht vertrauen. Niemals, hörst du?
And Noah's theme always playing in the back in the scene, like he always has this looping presence and always, like trying to... always controls him. Speak of the devil. Great use of music there. Yellow coat.
Sie haben Helge heute zurückgeschickt. Trotzdem prägt uns unsere Familie unser Leben lang. Dein Bruder ist ein blinder Narr.
Noah. Oh, so that was Tronte then. Right. The boy with Claudia.
Heute?
Kind of gives a different context when Agnes and Doris was doing it, and they were talking
Meine
about
Mutter
like,
liebt dich, weißt du das?
dude. Asking if Claudia knows and if Claudia sees it. Answering that everybody has their secrets. Oh my god, she knew the whole. Wow. But as I was saying before, the yellow coat kind of reminds me of like Jonas, right? With the yellow coat as well in the future.
Sie haben dieses Buch geschrieben.
Ich habe mich gefragt, wann es soweit ist. Und wir uns wiedersehen.
Ich kenne sie überhaupt nicht.
You will.
Ein ewiger Kreislauf.
Oh, never ending. Oh. Oh. Ooh. Great lighting.
Meinst du, er hat einen Komplizen?
Man, that shot of him. The light shaft from the window just.
Diesen Text.
I love that after
Worte haben sie 1953
all that happened
zu
between
mir
these
gesagt.
two, we're getting this. Like, it's great. It's kind of like a reconciliation between the two, right?
Der weiße Teufel. Wissen Sie, wer das ist?
Yeah, they mentioned that before.
Wer sie sind?
Is he gonna say it?
Ulrich.
He did, dude. That face.
Ich komme aus der Zukunft.
Oh man.
Haben Sie schon mal vom Bootstrap-Paradox gehört?
We've talked about the bootstrap paradox a lot in this reaction series.
Den hier müssen wir ruhig stellen. Hat er inzwischen seinen Namen gesagt? Nicht, dass ich wüsste.
Hey, way to go, Ulrich, for keeping that his name a secret for for all of this time, right? Because otherwise, it would change the future. It would change Egon, especially. Oh, that sadness in his eyes, knowing that he failed. And the fact that he can't say it, but he wants to as well. It's like, it's his identity, of course. It's like...
Sie wusste, wie alles kommen würde bis zum heutigen Zeitpunkt.
Interesting the way that... The way that they are setting up Claudia as if she is the one who knows everything. Far more than, every other character, maybe aside from Noah. I mean, we kind of get the fact that Claudia is a major character.
Helge, komm runter, hier ist jemand, der dich sprechen möchte.
This is going to shock him. Yeah. Not surprising. Comfort in the devil who saved him.
Die Zeit ist immer mit dir. Egal wohin du gehst.
Recites the words.
Geben Sie ihm ein bisschen Zeit. Ich bin mir sicher, er wählt seine Worte nur mit Bedacht.
Oh, the way he is caressing him is... It's supposed to be creepy. Emphasis on the wedding ring again. I do sense a bit of... Huh.
Ich versuche einfach, einige Lücken in ein paar alten Akten zu schließen.
The sad part is... Egon probably figured it out before he died.
Ich schlafe in letzter Zeit wieder schlecht. Ich habe
Not suspicious at all. Obviously, she's not the one who's taking the pills.
Was willst du hier?
Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Oh.
Claudia hat sie bei sich.
I don't know.
Du kannst deine eigene Schwester nicht so hassen, wie du sie hast.
Great shot. I honestly cannot tell if she's doing a double agent something or I don't know. She's a mystery, that's for sure. She's playing both sides and I can't tell which side she's actually on unless she's on her own side, which means that she's just playing everybody else. Agnes? Never mind. Dude, tears in her eyes.
Die Welt hat dich nicht verdient.
Wow.
Es tut mir leid.
Wow.
Ich verstehe nicht.
You will.
Das wirst du eines Tages.
Yeah.
Es tut mir leid, wirklich.
Cuts to the nuclear factory, wondering that if Egon got cancer because of the nuclear factory, like radiation and such. Wonder if Egon realized who he was talking to in the past, given all of the time-traveling revelations that he's been uncovering.
Ich habe Krebs. Prostata.
Wo ist denn Mama?
Keep it a secret. Apples. Always the apples.
Du bist ein zu guter Mensch, Papa. Die Welt hat dich nicht verdient.
Oh, the same words. Love the acting, man. Holy shit.
Kennen Sie diesen?
This is fucking nuts.
Er ist hier.
Du hast es die ganze Zeit gewusst. Wo ist? Wo ist?
No, 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 no. And this is the start of her journey. Wow. Question is, what timeline did she end up going first, right?
Du dachtest, du kannst dir vertrauen.
Oh no. He's holding a gun.
Du glaubst, du kannst mich mit deinen Worten manipulieren.
I mean, she can. I won't be surprised.
Ich bin keiner deiner Bauern mehr.
Aber Adams bist du noch.
Ooh.
Hast du eine Wahl?
Choice is an illusion. But Claudia knows this is going to happen, obviously, because she is the one who gave her the newspaper. So is it really betrayal if it's already predetermined?
Das ist nicht wahr. Charlotte. Das ist nicht.
Ah. Are we finally going to get the relationship between Charlotte and Noah? Because they've been teasing it a lot. She went into the present.
Am Ende würden wir doch alles für sie tun. Ein roter Faden. Hatte sie die Seiten dabei. Am Ende bekommen wir alle, was wir verdient haben.
We are setting up Adam to be the main villain, like the main bad guy of the show, and in turn, Noah kind of got lowered into like second place, which kind of gives me the idea that probably, you know, there is this chance that Noah can turn. Maybe not necessarily into our side, into like the good guys and all, but like turn against Adam at least. Because Noah's all about, you know, we control time and we control like destiny and such, and yet he is being controlled by Adam. Those final words from Claudia, though, that is going to be in the back of Noah's mind for a while. And Noah, you know, being a smart character, you know, Noah is a pretty smart character, right? He knows that if he continues this path or whatever, then he's just going to be nothing but Adam's pawn. You know, like he killed Claudia because he doesn't want to be Claudia's pawn anymore, but at the same time it's like, okay, you killed one of two masters. You killed Claudia. There's still Adam. And it's not like you killed Claudia because death is irrelevant in this case, because Claudia will always exist in one way or another, right? Whether it be her future self, her old self, or her younger self, right? Like, that's the thing. You kill Claudia, but at the same time, at that exact same moment, when future Claudia died, past Claudia becomes future Claudia, right? She took her own place. She filled in the gap that her past, or I guess her future self left, right? Which is crazy if you think about it. Okay, so two standout characters in this episode. The first one was Claudia, and the second one was Agnes. Agnes Nielsen. My God, what a character. You know, there's something about her that kind of struck me, right? When she first appeared in like season 1 when Ulrich was like wandering around 1950, around the 1950 era, right? And we meet her for the first time, right? Agnes. She has this really she has this presence, right? She has this aura of like mystique and allure to her, but I can't really pinpoint what it is at the time. Coupled that with some of those scenes between Agnes and Doris from season 1, I can't recall if I've ever discussed those scenes or if I've ever talked about those scenes, but those scenes were kind of, you know, they had this sort of like um this chemistry to it that again, at the time I wasn't really sure on whether or not this was a jealousy thing, you know, because of the different classes, if this is a oh, I think I may be in love with you relationship sort of thing. Is this more of a hey, let's get naughty sort of thing, or if this is a um just a character looking at this other character and feeling, man, my marriage sucks, or something like along those lines. And you know, to my ultimate surprise, it was kind of all of the above. She Agnes and Doris, obviously, you know, at the start of the episode, we saw her kind of, you know, we saw them kind of, you know, getting along together, like really, really close. But really, it's those kind of, it's sort of, it's those lines when Doris asked Agnes, like, did Claudia knows? Did Claudia realize? And Agnes was like, hey, no, everybody has their secrets. You know, like, little did we know, right, of how significant those words are and how much Agnes actually means it. Like there's meaning behind those words, and it's also kind of great that the episode proper, you know, after the intro, because the episode actually starts with Helge and Noah. But once we do start the episode after the intro credit scenes, and we see Agnes and Doris, immediately we are introduced to young Claudia, right? We kind of get this, you know, this, hey, these are our two main characters in this episode that will get you the most attention of, right? Claudia and Agnes. It's like, great writing and just great storytelling in general of like establishing who the main characters are in this episode, right? But Agnes specifically, because Claudia, as great as emotional as Claudia's like storyline is in this episode, I just kind of want to talk about Agnes for a bit more, because really we talked a lot about Claudia, but Agnes, you know, this is the first time that I've actually, you know, like, oh, you know, this character, right? This new character, we are introduced to a new character that is, it's not really a new character, but it's more like we are introduced to a character who is now a major character, right? Somebody who has the potential and the ability to alter the plot, the narrative. You know, there are some characters within this show that I feel like are more passive characters, you know, characters who are in the show but they have little to no influence to the story itself. It's more like they are being tagged along by the story. They're like there, but they can't really change much, you know, like at the end of the day, they're just following along the story. They're following along these other major characters who are changing everything. You know, like Egon is a good example of this. You know, like as major of a character Egon is, he is, in my opinion, from like everything that we've seen, a passive character, right? He can't really do anything about like this whole situation, and even if he tried, we know that he's not going to change anything because he's going to die. So even if he did end up learning about like the time traveling stuff and all, it's not gonna change anything. It's not gonna affect like the story at all, at least for now. Like we don't know like if he is actually going to change things, but or if he actually dies, but at this point, I feel like it's kind of pretty obvious that he's going to die of cancer. But like, again, Aegon is a character who isn't really, changing anything. He's more like just tagging along, and he's trying to decipher the plot as much as we are. Contrasting that to his daughter, Claudia, who is changing the plot, who is changing the narrative, right? She is the one who is one of the masterminds behind all of this. Or she is the one who knows everything. She is the one who sets a lot of things in motion. Also, kind of, how do I put this? It's ironic that I say these characters are changing the plot when the entire theme of the show is that these characters cannot change the plot. That's like the whole point, right? They can't change the path in which that they are laid. But that is the goal, right? They want to change it, but they can't. But moving on, I was talking a bit about like passive characters, and I kind of got sidetracked a bit. But Agnes Nielsen, this scene right here when she is talking to Noah, obviously we kind of got the idea that Agnes has a brother, and that brother is Noah, and such, right? From season 1 as well, right? We kind of allured to that. We kind of alluded to the idea that Noah and I'm pretty sure it was Agnes, right? That was kind of that we got that conversation of like, oh yeah, like he was a priest or something like that, and that's how we kind of get the idea, right? But this scene in particular during the church was amazing. I love it. There was this moment, a couple of shots ago, if I can find it, where you have like the silhouettes between Noah and Agnes, and it was just like really, really good. Here, like it was just cinema. But what interests me the most about Agnes, I mean, again, like the allure of the character, she is mysterious. She has this sort of unknown position within the spectrum of like good or bad. Like, what is she up to? We don't know. We know that she is in cahoots with Claudia, and it seems like she and Claudia are, in good terms. But now it seems like she is trying to get into the good hands of Noah and Adam, because she used to be a part of Sigmundus Creatus Est. But there is also the idea that she's maybe doing this. She's luring Noah into thinking that, hey, I'm giving you this information that Claudia is going to die in this moment right here, because she was instructed by Claudia to do so, as if Claudia is still masterminding behind all of this, and Noah just cannot escape the fact that she is her that he is her pawn, right? That was the reason why that was one of the reasons why Noah killed her, right? He outright said, I will no longer be your pawn in your stupid games or whatever, right? As Claudia, tried to manipulate him one last time of like, hey dude, like Adam's not really, you do realize that Adam's like not really good in the head, right? Like his head is kind of messed up and such. But it kind of adds more to the theme of like Noah just cannot escape her, as in even in death, even Noah killing her is still her using him. I kind of like that idea, and I kind of want that to be the case here with Agnes, as in she's doing all of this. She is manipulating Noah in this scene in the church because she knows that what she's going to do, what she is doing right here, will set up a bunch of like, will set up motions in the future, right? We'll set up, like the future shit that we still have no idea about, because time moves forward. Another thing that I do want to talk about in regards to Agnes, clothing. Her clothing, more specifically, the color of her clothes in this entire episode, yellow. She is wearing a yellow coat, jacket, dress. You know who else is wearing yellow? Or who used to be wearing yellow in season 1? That's right. Our boy Jonas. I think it's a very deliberate idea, of a very deliberate choice, even from the creators, right? That, hey, we're gonna have her be wearing yellow because she has the ability to change everything as well. Or to say that if we are to put characters in separate categories, then Agnes would be in the same category as the stranger, as Jonas. Again, I'm just reading this through the fact that they are using the color yellow on her skirt, on her dress. I could be overreaching, but I'm pretty sure there hasn't been any other character in this show apart from Jonas that wears bright yellow. You know what I mean? And because of the fact that that Agnes was in cahoots with Claudia, she was in contact with Claudia and she knows more, right? So we still have no idea what led Agnes into this position, right? We don't even know where she is from, when she is from. If she is Noah's sister, then who's to say that she was also in the past? Who's to say that she traveled back into the future during her younger years and she was somebody else that we do know? Like there's so many possibilities at this point, right? Like every character can be every other character. That's the thing about Dark. Like, you see one character, that character can be that other character. You know what I mean? Because they just don't want to tell you their names. So it is going to be very curious to see like her role in the show, her role in the story, and this dynamic between this brother and sister, Noah and Agnes. It really is, because I feel like at this point Noah has always been this character that has no opposition aside from the stranger, right? But now we're seeing other characters on the same level, maybe even more, with Adam, right? That challenges Noah's character, right? And that is good. I want the villain to be challenged by other villains or other antagonists, right? Agnes is an antagonistic force to Noah, and in this episode, right? Again, we still have no idea like how the relationship is gonna grow in the future, right? But I do love me stories where the villain that you used to know from like the previous season is getting dethroned by another bigger villain in the next season, and then the previous season villain that we used to know has to fend off for themselves and try to overtake the other bigger villain, because obviously, hey, I was here first. I kind of like those tropes in stories, and I kind of want to see Noah, going hand with Adam, like, hey, enough of this timey-wimey mumbo-jumbo shit. I have had enough. I don't want you to be controlling my life anymore. I don't want you to be controlling where the fuck I want to go. Let me be free so I can do whatever the fuck I want. You know what I mean? Like, I kind of want that for Noah, even though he's a bad guy. But, he's a very compelling bad guy. Like he's a very compelling villain. He's well written, and I love his character for that. Moving on from the Agnes and Noah stuff, obviously we got the Claudia stuff. The Claudia stuff was pretty emotional during those last few scenes. I can guarantee you, if I rewatch those scenes again, I will probably cry. But it's that lovely editing and just the back and forth between like the past, the present, and the future of like how everything is connected. Like the scenes where Egon is talking to Claudia in the future and the scenes where Egon is talking to Claudia in the past, like very different times, but they all connect to the same theme of like asking for forgiveness and love, and like it's just so well done. It's so good. I was going to say rest in peace to future Claudia, but then again, like I said, death and time is kind of irrelevant in this at this point, because future Claudia is now present Claudia, past Claudia. 1980s Claudia is now becoming future Claudia, is what I'm trying to say. So it's like, again, like you kill Claudia, and you kill older Claudia, younger Claudia takes her place. Like the cycle continues. It's never ending. But yeah, Claudia is amazing this episode. Has always been amazing in the entire show. It's kind of crazy to think that this character, who I thought was just gonna be another, oh, look at this character who is the director of the nuclear factory and such, and now she's, you know, like supposedly like one of the masterminds behind all of it. Like it's insane. It's crazy, and I love it. So yeah, the Claudia stuff was great, especially with the stuff with Egon. It is really sad to see, you know, like Egon, where he is and how he's trying to spend the last few moments of his life trying to correct the, you know, his past mistakes, essentially, right? He's bringing back those cases with Ulrich and Mikkel as well, right? Trying to reconcile those past again, past mistakes and such. I am worried about like how they're going to handle his character's death, right? Because now we know why he's going to die, and we know that he is going to die because obviously we don't see him in the future, right? There is that really, really small chance that he might travel through time and his disappearance will be considered death, but at this point it's like, nah, that's like a bit, that's too far fetched, you know. Like, look, man, if Ulrich says he's gonna die of cancer, then he's gonna die of cancer. Like there's no point in Ulrich, you know, lying to us, the audience, as well. So it is going to be sad to be seeing Egon, you know, die, but it's even sadder to see that we know he's going to die, and we're going to be spending the next couple of episodes with him before he dies. And it's going to be even more sadder and emotional when if Egon does end up figuring out a lot of this shit that we've been trying to figure out, and then he dies, because that just means that the information that he collects, you know, gone with him. He did leave some notes, but obviously if he did leave some notes that are pretty damning for like this entire show, for this entire plot, then why didn't Charlotte and everybody else in the future already figured it out, right? If Egon already figured it out in the past, then why can't Charlotte and everybody else figure it out in the future? That's all I'm trying to say. Speaking of Charlotte, those final few moments in this episode, even when Noah was looking at all of those notes and noticed, you know, like one of them is, you know, about Charlotte. It's like, oh boy. Because obviously we know from season 1, right, that Noah and Charlotte kind of had a thing, right? We don't know what it is. I kind of theorized that Noah is from the future, and what he knows, the Charlotte that he knows, that he recognizes, is a younger Charlotte. But the younger Charlotte is from the future, right? There's this ongoing theory of like Charlotte is actually Elizabeth's daughter, and there's this like the most obvious chicken and the egg comparison parallel in the show ever between Elizabeth and Charlotte. Please let that be true. But yeah, it's like we're finally getting into that more, and I cannot wait to see like where the show is going to explore that idea. You know, like it's also really exciting to see like whether or not, you know, like how is it gonna play out? Is it gonna be right? Is it gonna be wrong? Am I gonna be like completely fucking lunacy out there when in regards to my theories, or whether or not there's some merit to it? I hope there is, because so far Dark has been really excellent in terms of like setting up ideas and actually delivering them. Because there's a lot of times where there's a lot of times where the show really just surprised me. Like the moment earlier in the episode when Claudia met Agnes, like that was a complete surprise because I wasn't really expecting that at all. But like if we're talking about like some of the more obvious hints and ideas of like, hey, nudge, 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 stranger and Jonas, like that's kind of like a no-brainer from like the moment we see, the moment we saw the stranger, you know what I mean? And yeah, it's a great show. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm probably gonna end this episode discussion by saying that yeah, this is a great show. It's well written. It's one of the best written mystery shows out there. And we're not even halfway through the show yet. I think once we finally reach the end, and once we finally see like how everything pans out, how everything is connected, and how much of it is, how much of it is well realized and well thought, that is when I can finally consider that Dark is one of, if not the greatest mystery shows that I've ever watched. Because I feel like I've already talked about this as well in several discussions, in several episodes, in several shows even, in regards to like mystery and such. And is that I love a good mystery, but a great mystery is when the mystery can be solvable by the audience as well. I say that because there's multiple shows and movies and stories where the mystery is so well sealed and so hidden that once it is revealed, once the answer is like out there, like, hey, plot twist, X equals Y, suddenly it, instead of feeling, like, oh, that makes sense, it feels, oh, wait, what the fuck? Like some felt more like ass pulls, right? As in, it's a final last minute explanation of like, okay, X equals Y and here's why, like, and then they just immediately info dump an exposition, like everything, like, hey, this is what happens. So you remember what happened in the previous scene, in the previous episode, in the previous moment, in the previous beginning minute of the movie? Turns out that is, wow, you know what I mean? Like, I don't like those types of mysteries. Like, I genuinely don't. I feel like those are cheaply written. I feel like if it's a good mystery show, then they should at least give the audience enough clues and ideas to have a direction of like where things may be going. Because otherwise, if we are left in the dark, it's like, why am I still watching this? It's a mystery show. Let me solve things. Let me figure it out. Don't withhold information. Don't immediately tell information as well, but like, I feel like Dark has struck a really, really good balance that I have not seen in any other show and in any other movie in a long while. Which is why I'm hoping that some of my theories are true and correct, because otherwise it's gonna be kind of a disappointment. because there's plenty of times where, and I guess a lot of people may predict some things in other stories and other shows, and we feel like we're on the right track, like all the hints are there, like it's clear that this is the direction that, like the writers are going for, but then in the last minute they kind of change it a bit. So it's like, oh, wait a minute. You set all of this up and you change it, and then it kind of became a debate on whether or not are we too are we theorizing too much? Are we looking into it too much? Are we projecting our own ideas as real facts? or if we actually step back and look at the bigger picture, it actually makes sense, or we just misinterpret like everything, and as it turns out, like, oh, none of that actually matters. Like, those were never actually planned at all. Like, sometimes those happens. I don't think Dark is going to be that case though. So until then, cannot wait for our next episode of Dark. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Thank you all so much for watching this reaction and my discussion as well. If you made it this far, hit the like. And I will see you all next time for the next episode reaction of Dark. As usual, early access is available on the Patreon. Links in the description below. Thank you, everybody. Have a nice day. Peace.